Hi and welcome back to Debt Tale. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the basics around alternative minimum tax. So let's get started. As a quick reminder, I am not a tax professional. This is just general information. So it is just covering what is the alternative minimum tax, the basics around it, but it is not specific to any year. This is an evergreen video. So if you want information as to the exemptions and the income that is limited per that tax year, check out then that year's video on tax brackets. What is the alternative minimum tax, or AMT? The AMT is a parallel tax system designed to catch high income earners to ensure that they are paying some sort of taxes. So the AMT is different in that it is not calculated the same way that regular income tax is, and it is done in order to prevent high income earners from using loopholes in claiming massive deductions or certain credits, and that way they are still responsible for paying some sort of tax. Now, not a lot of people know that this exists because they are not high income earners, but I did get a DM asking me to go over the basics, so this is that video. What you do need to know that if you are subject to AMT, you are paying the higher of the two. So you are going to have your income calculated both ways. You have it both the standard way, which is what everybody's is used to, that 1040 form, and then you have a different form which will calculate it for AMT. Now, whichever one is higher is the one that you will pay for. Why was the AMT created? So the AMT was created in 1969, and it was done in order to get taxes from high income earners. It was a way for the government to get money from individuals who were trying to avoid taxes entirely by using excessive credits, excessive deductions, and different types of exemptions. How does AMT differ from regular income tax? So the AMT has its own set of rules, and it doesn't count certain deductions or exemptions that are available to those who are calculating it the standard income way. So the amount of income that is then subject to AMT is going to be different than the amount of income that will be subject to your income tax, because in your income tax, you can actually use the deduction and certain exemptions to lower that taxable income amount, but it is different when you are calculating it for AMT. Another difference is that AMT is only done with two tax rates. So it's either 26% or 28%, and that 28% goes for an amount over a threshold that changes yearly. How will you know if you need to pay AMT? So calculating your AMT liability is tied to Form 6251, but essentially if you rely on a tax person or a tax program, it will do the calculations for you as well to see if you hit the liability or trigger AMT, and then it will have you fill out that form. What income levels are typically affected by the AMT? So currently, because we are based off of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, the income amount ranges from $200,000 to about $1 million a year, but that does vary based off of your filing status, because those who are married will have a higher income amount than those who are filing as single. There's also some deductions that will be affected, and there's also an AMT exemption amount that changes yearly thanks to inflation. So those numbers every year will change. How is AMT calculated? So your AMT starts with your regular taxable income amount, but then it adds back deductions that you may have qualified for or taken under the standard way of doing things, and it adds it back to your income. So your AMT income amount generally will be a little higher than what is the amount from the regular way of doing things. However, after that is done and it adds up all this income that is now considered taxable under AMT, then you get to utilize the AMT income exemption. So a good chunk of money gets pulled out from that, and anything over that will then be subject to 26% or the 28% depending on how much more it is. What is the AMT exemption and how does that work? So the AMT exemption is an amount of money that doesn't get counted for. So this again changes on a yearly basis with inflation and can change based off your filing status. If you want to know the rates, again, please check out the year video that talks about the tax brackets, because it will talk about that exemption number for that year. Does tax software help you figure out AMT? Yes, you can definitely use tax software. It generally runs calculations to, again, see if your amounts may trigger AMT, and then you get to fill out the 6251 form. Are there strategies to avoid or minimize the amount subject to AMT? So, really quick, again, I am not a tax professional, so this is just very general advice. I don't know your personal circumstances, so please talk to a CPA or a tax person, and they can come up with a tax strategy for you. But in general, how people go around changing the amounts that could be potentially subject to it are the following. They might defer when they receive the income. They'll be quote unquote timing their deductions again to make sure that they don't hit the AMT threshold. They may diversify their investments, which change what would be considered taxable income. Another thing is changes in how they contribute to their retirement. So there are different retirement accounts and ways to move money through them or to them that would lower their AMT potential responsibility. Other things is that there are deductions and exemptions that do still count for AMT. So there's a lot of tax strategies out there that focus on lowering your income through those deductions and exemptions that would count for AMT that would help. So yeah, that is the basics around AMT, alternative minimum tax. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in a comment below. If I can't answer it, I will let you know because again, I am not a tax professional. The information that I am giving to you is general. It is what you can find out through Google, IRS websites, and other tax forms, but a lot of people just like it being delivered in a succinct way on a video, and so I try to help out in that way. For those of you who are continued subscribers, thank you so much, especially when I was on hiatus during this pregnancy. I really appreciate that you guys are still sticking around and that my subscriber count has still been climbing despite me not making videos. So thank you so much. And for those of you who found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. I am trying to get back to posting like on a weekly basis, but I can't guarantee that. So the real goal right now is like 2 videos a month until I am ready to return full time. Because at some point this baby's gonna come out. I will want to take time off and then I should be ready to be back to 1 video a week. So until the next video, bye.